Innovate. Accelerate. Move technology forward. The startup revolution is now.
everybody. Is it afternoon? Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Hi. Hello. Where's the energy? Are you guys full? Hello, everybody. All right. So first of all, welcome to our 917 Ventures networking lunch. We have a very short program because we really wanted this to be a casual socials event, so that you guys get to meet each other. So I know that it seems like everyone knows everyone on their tables, but can you quickly say hi to the people behind you? All right, say hi. All right. Okay, so I also have another favor. After the talk, I want you guys to stand up and switch tables. Also, especially after you've eaten, because I hope you guys are enjoying the food. So later on, I hope you guys stand up, switch tables, meet new people. Again, we really want you guys to just mingle. Everyone in 917 Ventures jacket or shirt or rush, please raise your hands for our 917 Ventures team. All right, so those are your 917 Ventures teammates. Please say hi to us. Also, we have booths. These are our very social booths. So we have booths here from Rush, Kapitan, and FunSpace. These are our SME solutions from 917 Ventures and Globe, of course. But I know you guys are still eating, but we'll still start with the program if you guys don't mind. Yes? Okay. So hi guys, my name is Natasha. I head the growth and programs at 917 Ventures. I hope that you guys are enjoying your food. If you have any problems, please let me know or let any of the 917 Ventures team know. We are also live. So to our audience in their homes or offices, hello there. We will start with a keynote and a quick panel. But I want to introduce to you first 917 Ventures. Quick raise of hands. Who knows about 917 Ventures here? Nice. Okay, that's not half though. So after today, you should know 917 Ventures. 917 Ventures, if you haven't connected it yet, 917 is the prefix of your phone number. If you're 0917, that's a Globe number. Because we are a Globe company, but we are not the same team. We actually have a separate office. So 917 Ventures, we've been around for more than 3 years, but we are the venture builder of Globe and Ayala. And what we do as a venture builder is we keep building ventures. We ideate, we accelerate, we ideate, we launch, accelerate, and scale new businesses. So some of our portfolio companies include GCash, Consulta MD, Health Now, of course, Rush, Kapitan, and FunSpace. And yeah, what we do is we think of us as a startup factory. We keep building and building ventures. And actually, that's why we want to meet with all of you today, because we want to understand your pain points. We want to understand, hey, what do you need? Maybe it will help us build the next big thing for you, especially for you as SMEs, as entrepreneurs, as business owners. Yeah, so that's what we do. We are not an incubator or accelerator, so we don't fund external startups. We build our own startups. We hope that we get to partner with you, engage with you in just one way or another. But without further ado, I would like to introduce our keynote. Apologies for Glenn. He was supposed to do our keynote today, but he can't make it. But we do have Carla. So Carla is our entrepreneur in residence, and she will talk to you more about supercharging SMEs and the startup ecosystem. So round of applause for Carla.
Thank you, Natasha. So hi, everyone. Good afternoon, I think. It's so great to see so many people come together for such an important topic for us to also talk about growing communities, right? So like what Natasha mentioned, what I'm going to be taking you through really is how exactly have we been engaging with SMEs and why it's such a vital part of our own growth as a country. So next slide, please. So let's start with some facts, right? MSMEs, as we know, are a very critical part of what makes our country grow. But these are staggering numbers And actually calling them small and medium and even micro is a bit of a misnomer because their footprint and the impact is completely massive. So SMEs actually comprise close to or 99% of businesses that are established here in the Philippines, and this is across different sectors, mostly driven by retail, but a lot of different services, solutions that you can actually discover within your own neighborhoods or communities, right? SMEs actually employ 64% of the workforce. So imagine that kind of impact in driving real growth for every SME that's in the country. And it actually accounts for 40% of the Philippine GDP. So to call them small and medium, they're very, very mighty, right? So in the next slide, we'll then see what does this whole transformation mean now for SMEs. Individually, as communities, as families, we've had to go through the impact of the pandemic, as we know, and it's no different from the businesses that's been built. So transformation really has happened significantly. In fact, really driven by the rapid shift in our own habits. We're actually, internet is already now our oxygen, right? And Pinoys really take that to heart because we spend, hazard a guess, how many hours do we spend online? It's actually now an average of 8 to 10 hours per day, every single day. And this is us really just going through so much content, no? We've also tracked that there's around 65% of Filipinos have at least bought an item online already. So this is already part of life. And this will continue to shift and continue to be here to stay, the whole digital habits that have already been formed. So this also means for businesses, the need to pivot, the need to be more agile, the need to be more resilient, all of these great terms, right? But what does that really mean in terms of operating? It's matching what your businesses are, how they should be growing, to the changing habits of your own customers. So here, we're also seeing that while the pandemic has been completely disruptive, it's also provided us new opportunities to engage and grow together with the SME community. So it's us now discovering new industries to explore, new needs, new problems to solve. And in fact, I had a really interesting conversation with Edel earlier where there's a laundry POS solution already. Imagine how specialized that solution is. And it actually caters to a growing demand as well. So it really just goes to show that there's now new solutions cropping up every day. So with that, we know that transformation is inevitable, right? And it really is not just about being on Facebook or being in channels that you're familiar with. But there are two stages to this. First is really identifying ways to digitize information, digitize your operations or businesses, so that you actually get to digitalize better. So that actually then means you then go into better automation, more efficiencies, more ways to discover new customers and actually know more about your customers, right? And all of this comes in different stages. And this is exactly where 917Ventures comes in. So our mission is really to uplift the lives of the Filipinos in their everyday spaces, in their everyday experiences. As Natasha mentioned, we're obsessed about taking a look at what problems are there yet to be solved. And there's a lot, especially within the SME space, right? We ideate, we launch, we accelerate and scale all of these new business ideas so that it really adds value back, right? To this community, to the SMEs, to all of these new customers. We've been able to actually thrive and grow in various focus areas. And this is a snapshot of what 917Ventures has been able to dabble into. So fintech, everybody knows GCash, right? And it really is about being able to address the immediate need of transfers. We've seen this happen and grow hugely during the pandemic. Digital health, Consulta MD allows you to now have access to a doctor, which is a few taps, right, within its own app. And e-commerce, Rush, is now being used to enable thousands of SMEs that would have their first experience when it comes to e-commerce. And then Rapid allows you to actually have instant access to a diverse set of goods that you can immediately buy online. Growing areas, edutech, we know that talent is really the greatest asset, right? And to be able to upskill and hone the new breed of talent, the new generation of talent is very, very critical. So that's why 917 Ventures has also grown ventures and initiatives such as EdVenture and CodeGo that supports various skills, especially within the tech space. Entertainment, Chroma is actually the Oscar-nominated backer, no, or content studio that's also under 917V. And as we all know in digital, new spaces, new exciting spaces such as ad tech and data are also here within Kiro M360 and AdSpark. So it's a whole ecosystem of different things that we've been able to grow, and we plan to do the same for the SMEs. Why so? As mentioned, 99% of businesses are SMEs, and 70% of them are actually very keen on going digital. I mean, that's already a given, right? And over 1 million of them are already registered. A little over 750 are really keen to go into better digital, but 48% of them really don't know how to start or how to sustain. And that's the reality as well when dealing with how to grow SMEs. Right? Because this is the reality check, right? While there are a slew of different solutions out there, how exactly are we able to really capture the attention of SMEs and very much so retain their engagement as well? So there are 3 problems that we're aiming to solve, right, within this space. First is the fact that solutions are seen as intimidating. We all know digital, we've heard it so many times, but we also do need to realize that digital is daunting, right? It's super tough to transform and execute consistently, and so much so for SMEs. Second is SMEs are focused on operations. They have their businesses to grow. They're in their day by day, they're in the trenches, they're the main decision makers, so where else can they find time? And there actually is that they only really see one-size-fits-all types of solutions, and so there really is an opportunity to have something more customized for them. The other thing we've seen SMEs need the most is actually access to better funding and better opportunities. But the truth of the matter is 49% of SMEs are either unserved or underserved because a lot of systems around SMEs are still very traditional and is not aligned to what it is that can actually grow the potential of these SMEs. So that's why the building blocks for SME digital growth that we are obsessing about are 3 main things. First is the discovery of solutions and the right solutions. Second is enabling the execution of those solutions. And then lastly, providing better and faster access to ways towards growth. The goal is to be able to then deliver value across SME stages. And it's important to note that SMEs don't function in a linear fashion. They're in different stages, depending on different ways, different industries. So it really is such a vibrant community, right? So these are the solutions that we've started with, and we're actually growing and scaling really fast. So first is Rush. More than an e-commerce platform, Rush is actually able to create integrated opportunities for SMEs, for its merchants across different spaces and industries. What that means is, as you have your platform, you can actually get discovered in new platforms such as G-Life. You can also target and understand the needs of your customers through data. And there are other marketplaces that allow you to also continue to expand people discovering more and more of your products. So it then becomes this full suite of different solutions that allow you to supercharge your e-commerce solution, connect it with loyalty, connect it with data, and connect it with other platforms. So the opportunities are really limitless. To match that up then with Kapitan, which is actually our digital enabler. So this is where we realize that the truth is SMEs need help, right? SMEs need hand-holding. So imagine this to be an integrated digital solutions marketplace that allow us to then really guide SMEs to have that head start, whether it's in performance marketing or e-commerce enablement, logistics, ad tech, and even financing options. So Kapitan is positioned to be the growth partner. So that once SMEs are able to then grow and expand, funding and access to even more opportunities are much faster. So FundSpace is a hassle-free loans aggregator wherein you can immediately apply for a loan through your phone. And you can actually get approved in as little as a week. And here, there's no fear of actually not being able to pay off because it's interest rate friendly. Loans are from micro to upwards 50 million pesos. And we've seen that this actually has given growth of around 12 times faster than traditional institutions. No? So this is definitely, it has changed a lot of our clients' lives, and it's so interesting to see all of these stories behind every business. So as mentioned, SMEs really will be the catalyst for our economic recovery. And these are the four main stages that we're really focused on to be able to do that. As mentioned, customer acquisition, really then taking it to the next level through automation. Accessible financing is and will always be a critical part of SME growth, and to be able to enable that is also going to be a critical part of our growth. And we know that government is a huge part of the ecosystem, and compliance will then be digital sooner than we think. In fact, BIR has already mentioned that taxes would be 100% online in the coming year or even in the next. So it's here to stay. It's not a matter of if, but when. And we know that digital growth is a journey. That's why it's so amazing to see this community coming together, familiar faces, and new solutions cropping up. Because we know that it doesn't just begin and end with one solution, right? It is about making sure SMEs are guided through the whole process. Today, we're here at the core of this ecosystem, but it's going to start expanding more and more into other areas of growth and support for a lot of these SME partners. And this is where potential partnerships and synergies from this room and beyond becomes even more exciting. So let me end with another fact, right? The Philippine startup ecosystem is among the best in the world. Currently, it's around 6 already. Within the region, 57th globally. But this is what also makes it amazing. Hyper-local communities that also are part of the rankings and are driving up our rankings. I think we have a group from Naga. You are 4th, right? Within the whole Philippine ranking. So imagine us now being able to really journey SMEs through digital success. This will, of course, go up and up. Okay. So I'd like to thank, again, everyone. This is really proof of how it's such a thriving community, and we're all coming together really for the SMEs, with the SMEs as well. And we're looking forward to meeting all of you and coming up with new solutions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Carla. And if I can ask you to take a seat, because we will now have our panel. All right. May I also request our panelists to go on stage. With Carla, our entrepreneur in residence, we also have Jeff, our Chief Commercial Officer of Rush. We also have Alisa Bermudez, Senior Manager of 917Ventures. And we also have Ia Valen, Venture Builder of 917Ventures. Okay, so as I promised you guys, casual, because I do want to leave a lot of space for casuals later. So let me start first, and then we'll also give you guys a chance to ask questions later on. We also have our online audience, so if you do have questions, please leave it in the chat box. Okay, I feel like such an influencer. Please follow and like and subscribe. Okay, so first let's do one round of introductions. If you can, well, Carla, we already introduced Carla. If you can introduce yourself, what you do, and what specific portco or venture or solution you're working on right now with 917Ventures in relation to SMEs, because you know most of our audience here are SMEs. So go ahead, Jeff.
Hi Tash. Hi everyone. Hi fellow SME startups here and at home. Again, my name is Jeff, CCO of Rush. So I lead a team of business growth hackers. They're actually here. They help Filipino entrepreneurs and businesses with their digital transformation. And at the same time, thanks Carla for introducing Rush. So we provide ready-made solutions for e-commerce and loyalty to help businesses like you in managing customer lifecycle from discovery, acquisition, up to customer loyalty. So if you want to know more about us, feel free to approach me and our business growth hackers there so that we can probably create create potential partnerships.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Alisa?
Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Alisa Bermudez. I'm the CRM manager of 917Ventures, but also the venture builder of FundSpace, which is a loan platform catering specifically to SMEs. So our goal is to provide all of you with funds when you need them. We also have a booth. Let me also mimic Jeff and invite you to visit our booth over here.
Yung social booth natin. Because it doesn't look like a booth, no?
We have many rooms with our consultants ready to talk to you.
All right, thank you. And Iya?
Hi everyone, good afternoon. So my name is Iya. I'm the venture builder for Kapitan, and Kapitan is a venture that aims to be the growth and enablement partner of MSMEs like yourself also. And yeah, similar to everyone else who's plugged in their booth, our booth is also right there. We do have our very helpful mentors and partners who can journey you through your digital transformation. Thank you.
Sorry, additional plug. So, Kapitan, we have some our marketing specialists around. So, if you need help, we can do a free health assessment. Just go to that booth.
Yes, you're always welcome.
All right. Okay, so let me start my first question with Carla. So, Carla, so as an entrepreneur in residence, and as I mentioned, 917Ventures, what we really do is we build solutions. We want to listen to your problems, and we start building ventures. So my question, Carla, is which industries present the most pressing challenges? And maybe some of the startups and some of the SMEs here are in those industries. And how do we at 917Ventures determine which problems to solve first? Because marami tayong problems. Alam naman natin yan in Philippines, right? So go ahead, Carla.
So what we've seen is that every industry really has its own unique set of problems. And that's what makes the SME space very interesting, very diverse, and there's a lot, like what Natasha, there's a lot of problems out there. But there are two main areas that we're really focusing on. First is how do we attract the right customers and how do we attract more quality customers faster? So this is where really going into data, ad tech is a space that we're focusing on as well. Second is on supply chain. How do we make your logistics, your operations more efficient? So from there, taking a look at better processes, better solutions for automation, and then plugging it into your business so that it doesn't disrupt it, but actually complement it. So these are two main things, because as we know, SMEs are really about how do I grow in the most cost-effective way possible. So those are two main areas we're looking at.
Great. Okay, quick raise of hands. Sorry, hilig ko talaga to raise hands. Quick raise of hands. How many of you need funding? Raise. Personal funding. Okay. Okay. How many of you have problems on acquisition? So getting customers. Wow, galing nyo naman. Share ng secret. Okay. Okay, how many of you need to automate? So too many manual things happening. Okay, okay. Okay, so we have us also at 917Ventures. Okay, so we talk about problems, but what are the emerging markets do you see the most opportunity in? Because yes, we have all these problems, but we also want to see is there an opportunity in the first place? And I want to direct this question to Alisa.
Sure. I think we touched on this also. And answering from the context of this whole hybrid situation we find ourselves in. It's hybrid work, hybrid home lives. As you can see, we all have online viewers as well. But a lot of the emerging businesses that we've seen also have been heavily community-based. So I think Carla was able to show the top locations. It's not all just based in Metro Manila. So we have all these F&Bs still emerging. And a lot of these are also trying to digitize their processes. So you also have delivery, retail, e-commerce, etc. Of course, we're also living in the days of GCash. So that's fintech. Loans are also available via different websites, different apps as well. Even education is online, so you have tutorial platforms readily available. Even pets have, like the pet industry, have apps, insurance nowadays. Gaming is also another thing that's come up. So very diverse industries with a lot of potential, a lot of opportunities for all of us to play in.
All right, thank you, Elisa. And Iya, I also want to ask you, as a venture builder, you act like a startup founder, and a lot of people here are startup founders. What problems do today's entrepreneurs face? These are probably stuff you already know, right? But for the sake of it, let's ask this question. Go ahead.
Actually, so in 917 Ventures, what we're really learning now is that the problems can actually differ depending on which stage the business or the entrepreneur is already in. So for instance, let's put it into stages, for instance. So it's possible that you have an idea already, but you want to start. So the big problem or the big question now is, where do I get my funding? Where do I get my capital? Let's also be wary that a lot of these business owners are possibly those who experienced losses during the pandemic. For instance, those who lost their jobs or those whose businesses also went bankrupt during the pandemic. So some of them really are starting from scratch. Now, if your business is already up and running, which is more of the stage 2 or the phase 2, the question now is, how do I grow my sales? Like, where do I get my customers? How do I grow my revenue? So it's really mostly top line driven at that point. And then when you're a more established business, even if you say that you are smaller, medium scale, there are still problems. For instance, so even if they do have their healthy sales, they already have their distribution networks in place that are quite strong at that point. The question now becomes, how do I make my operations more streamlined and more efficient so that I am more cost efficient in my operations? And the interesting thing is all of these problems can actually be answered by leveraging on technology and digital, which is also what we're trying to solve now through our SME place in 917 Ventures.
Great. So follow-up question, and I guess Jeff. So mostly ladies pala yung panel natin. I love it. And Jeff. So on that note, right, we have all these problems. And sorry, FYI also, 917 Ventures, we have a total of 12 portfolio companies. So again, those 12 portfolio companies include GCash, Consult MD, Health Now, Rush, M360, Deep Sea, so many Adventure, Code Go. We have 12 basically in total, and one of them is Rush. So as a portfolio company, they're parang the kuyas and ates of our ventures because our
oldest.
ventures so the ventures, yung mga sila Kapitan, sila Fund Space, they are our baby companies. So there are seed ventures. We're still under test and learn. So we have a lot to learn from our portfolio company, again, from our kuya. So I guess my question to you is, what can we do to help our entrepreneurs scale their businesses?
Actually, we're still learning.
We're always still learning.
Everyday learning. But Tash, to answer that question, just being with them in every step of the way, I agree to what Carla mentioned earlier, that some of the SMEs or startups are still allergic to buttons, kind of scared to touch platforms, even though that there's no tutorial for you to learn Facebook, Instagram as a user. But I agree that we need to handhold them. For example, at Rush, it's not the job does not end when we deploy their e-commerce website or their loyalty mobile app. Actually, it's the start of the job. upon launching their mobile applications and website, we onboard them to our Rush Academy, Rush 101, so that we guide them with a strategy on how to launch their channels effectively. And not only that, of course, the next problem is that how do I drive traffic to my own website, to my own loyalty? How do I acquire users? So good thing we're in a good, family. We expose our merchants and partners to GCash. We give them an opportunity to be inside the GCash app via GLife, which is the lifestyle section of GCash. And also, we give them an opportunity to do co-marketing campaigns with Globe One. So there's an opportunity for them to be exposed to the Globe One users. And on top of that, we also try to drive more revenue to their business via our voucher marketplace, which is Rush Plus. And we do partnership with Kapitan to give a consultation to our SMEs on how to run their businesses effectively, give them insights, give them quarterly business reviews for them to know how to slice and dice their data, how to understand their customers better. Basically, Tash, to wrap it up, it's actually enabling the SMEs through technology and through expertise and best practices in the country. And
I
not
love
only
it.
here, even outside the country.
Thank you so much, Jeff. And since you already touched on it, you mentioned, GCash, One Globe. The one great thing about working with any of the 917 Ventures portfolio is you basically work with all of the 917 Ventures portfolio. So I don't know if you've tried Rapid. It's the new grocery app in town. So Rapid has partnerships with Consulta MD, from groceries to consultations. So that's a great thing about working with 917 Ventures, and that's the Globe's unfair advantage. We call it the Globe's unfair advantage for a reason. And Ian, baka you wanna tell us more about what is Globe's unfair advantage, and how does it help the SMEs, and how does it help everyone in the ecosystem?
So for Globe Unfair Advantage, if I'm going to summarize it in one word, it's going to be network, and that could be in several levels. So for instance, it could be the network of subscribers. I believe over 80 million already as of this year. So these are subscribers whose daily behaviors, interactions, we get to understand their pain points as well, and in that effect also understand which products or solutions are best suited for their current needs. There's also an equivalent for the business clients. So that would be the small and business enterprise groups that we're partnered with, about 1,000 of them, or thousands of them actually. So similarly for the subscribers, we also understand their problems as a business or as an enterprise and serve them with the right solutions. Network could also mean, I think, over 1 million distribution points already at this point throughout the country, which means that we can also interact with our customers wherever they may be geographically. Now, that's the Globe Unfair Advantage. Would also argue that there is such a thing as the 917 Ventures Unfair Advantage. So,
Love it.
yeah, of course. So in this case, I would say it's the proven track record of building digital solutions that uplift the lives of Filipinos. And it's part of what Carla's also shown. We've done digital bridging in terms of industries like e-commerce, health, education, payments, etc. So now, okay, so if it's an unfair advantage, who really benefits from it? So in a way, yes, Globe can benefit from it because we're also helping Globe journey from being a telco to being a techco or a tech company. But at the same time, come to think of it, if we were able to bridge these very traditional industries to digital, what's stopping us from doing the same for SMEs? After all, if our vision in 917 Ventures, Carla touched on it earlier as well, is to uplift the lives of Filipinos, we definitely should not ignore SMEs because they're a very crucial, a very important pillar of the Philippine economy.
I love that. Of course. And, like Philippine Startup Week, every time there's a keynote, a panel, I mean, there's a lot of other events happening later, tomorrow, on Thursday, on Friday. And Philippine Startup Week, they're usually like, the heroes are the startups. They have like an innovative solutions. But sometimes, the SMEs, we also need to put a spotlight on them, right? Question also, again, raise of hands. How many of you attended the opening ceremony last Monday? Yeah, nice. Okay. Okay, let me share with you what I heard. So one of the keynote speakers actually shared that. Have you heard of content is king? Right, like content is king. So that's why we have all these like blogs and articles, and that's why influencers are the new models now because they produce so much content. It's not anymore that content is king. So it's actually communities. Sorry, I want to say communities. It's king and queen pala. Gender equality. So it's communities, and that's what we're trying to do here. And that's why we're probably gonna cut this panel short so that we can mingle and create a community of SMEs and startups helping each other out. And we do hope that we start this today. I know it's already probably started, but we hope we start this at 917 Ventures today. This is our very first external event, and we do hope to hear more from you. At this point, I do want to ask if anyone has any questions in our audience. Questions? Or if we have any in the chat. No? None? Okay. If I say we won't give you desserts unless you ask questions.
Ask question.
Okay. Maybe I'll do. I'll ask one last question for all the panelists or for panelists. As experienced entrepreneurs, venture builders, and FYI, we have 20 projects going on, 20, 30 companies that we build. Again, we're a startup factory. Can you share with us one learning, maybe one thing that you learned in building companies, one tip, one trick, one learning for our SME audience, our startup founders, our business owners? If anyone wants to start.
I think one thing I learned is to start now and learn now, because it's dangerous succumbing to analysis paralysis. It's never going to be perfect. There's bound to be something that you won't be able to foresee, and you won't really understand. I'm getting a lot of personal hand. Zoom reacts in person. So you're never really going to learn things if you don't start now. So yeah, that's my takeaway.
Progress over perfection.
Yes.
Okay, for me, it's more about, it's not all about what you have, but what you do with what you do have. So let's say for data, for example, I'm sure every one of us collect data. We all have apps, we all have websites. And we have all this data, and we think it's powerful enough, but it's not really just having it, but it's more what you do with it. Same with money, same with resources, same with time. So that's the one big learning that I have.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, a lot of people have data, but they don't know what to do with it. Okay, go ahead, Jeff.
I guess biggest learning in the past few years is that we're not alone. We have to admit it that we can't build everything on our own. And partnership is always the key. That actually, I keep on telling Tash and everyone in the panel today that I like the vibe here because finally we're able to meet other SMEs and startups. We share the pains, the struggle, the journey. Philippines is such a huge market, and there's such a huge space for us to play. I'm really excited that coming from e-commerce industry, there's Chat Genie here, Prosperna here. We can work together for us to educate the market, to shift their brick and mortar to online selling. And it's one way of supporting the community as well. You can do partnership within 917 Ventures if you want to enable your platform or your company with engagement, with data enrichment. You can do partnership with other people in this room. PayMongo for payment. There's a lot here. So try not to build everything internally. Try to expose yourselves in groups like this and partner and enable each other.
Thank you. And last but not the least, Carla.
For me, I think the biggest learning is really build proof to build trust. It's very important that for any idea, any solution you have out there, it's not going to be an overnight success, right? But it's important to actually continuously build towards what the success look like. So building proof across your features, across partnerships, all of that. Because at the end of it, in the process of building businesses, it really is about building relationships and building trust. And at the core, especially when it comes to SMEs, it's a community that really binds us together, right? So, yeah, exciting times.
Great. Okay, so let's build a community. Let's build trust. I hope you guys are enjoying your food. And thank you so much, Iya, Alisa, Jeff, and Carla for joining the stage. Again, guys, my request, please, when you're done eating, stand up, socialize, please visit our booths. I know we're a full house, so for those of you who arrived late, we set up another table outside. All right, thank you.